Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an absolutely monumental paradigm shift when it comes to human longevity. We'll be looking at cutting-edge data, research, and expert insights, spanning from foundational biology all the way up to the very latest clinical trials slated for as recent as 2026. You know, this isn't just about living a little bit longer. It's about fundamentally rewriting the biological code of what it literally means to age.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the paradigm shift in how we view aging, then dig into the biology of aging, explore how to reverse the cellular clock, look at real-world breakthroughs, and finally, envision a true longevity society.
All right, part one, the paradigm shift. Let's rethink aging. For centuries, right, humanity has just accepted physical decline as this unavoidable fate. But what if your biological age didn't have to dictate your future? What if aging isn't just some ticking clock that eventually runs out of time, but is actually a set of biological instructions that we can just rewrite under the right conditions? There is a massive new scientific consensus taking hold right now, championed by researchers at places like Harvard Medical School. Look, the old view equated the human body to a machine breaking down over time, kind of like a rusting car. But the new view, it's all about the information theory of aging. Basically, our cells don't actually lose their genetic blueprint, they just lose the ability to read it. Think of your DNA as an old-school CD. Aging is just the scratches on the surface of that CD that stop the laser from reading the music. And through new science, we're actually learning how to polish away those scratches.
Moving on to Section 2, the biology of aging and our cellular software.
So, we all know about DNA, right? That's our genetic hardware. But equally important is the epigenome. This is the chemical archive attached to our DNA that acts like cellular software, telling specific genes to turn on or stay silent. The crucial thing to understand here is that as we get older, this epigenome experiences what scientists call drift. The software essentially gets glitchy. Perfectly good genes start executing their instructions poorly. So, for example, your skin cells just stop acting like youthful skin cells.
And this glitchy software results in actual physical damage. Researchers, like the biomedical gerontologist Aubrey de Grey, have organized the biology of aging into these 7 distinct types of repairable damage. We're talking everything from cells dividing when they definitely shouldn't be, to the buildup of cellular waste, to zombie cells that just refuse to die. Dr. Mike Roizen, who's a leading wellness expert, expands on this even further. He tracks up to 14 specific shots on goal, mechanisms of aging that science is actively working to reverse as we speak.
Now, why does this matter so urgently? Well, look at this staggering number. Out of roughly 155,000 human deaths worldwide every single day, an astounding 110,000 are directly caused by this exact accumulation of aging damage. Think about that. That is the primary driver behind heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, you name it.
Section 3, reversing the clock through cellular reprogramming.
Knowing what's broken is really only half the battle. Now let's look at the applied science, because the acceleration here is just thrilling. It all kicked off back in 2006 when Dr. Shinya Yamanaka discovered 4 specific factors that could actually reset adult cells back to an embryonic state, which, by the way, won him a Nobel Prize. Fast forward to 2020, and David Sinclair's lab at Harvard used 3 of these factors to successfully reverse aging in the eye tissue of mice, completely restoring their vision. And incredibly, this momentum leads us straight to the 2026 Phase 1 clinical trials of ER100 by Life Biosciences. Yes, they are testing this very technology in humans.
Now, a really important distinction here. The goal isn't total reprogramming. If we did that, we'd reset your cells all the way back to an embryo and completely erase their identity. Not good. Instead, we use what's called partial reprogramming. By exposing mature cells to a precise, limited-time cocktail of those Yamanaka factors, specifically O, S, and K, the cells safely recalibrate their gene expression. We are essentially just scrubbing away that age-related epigenetic drift without making the cell forget what its actual day job is.
Okay, aside from gene reprogramming, we have another completely incredible tool at our disposal: Senolytics. Remember those zombie cells we mentioned earlier? Well, when cells get too damaged, they're supposed to just naturally die off. But as we age, some of them stubbornly refuse to die off. They linger in the body, spewing out this toxic cocktail of chronic inflammation, a process often called inflammaging. Senolytics act like a highly targeted hit-and-run therapy. They sweep through the body, selectively clearing out these toxic zombie cells, and basically take the brakes off your body's own natural regenerative capacity.
Which brings us to Section 4, real-world breakthroughs in applied science.
Let's take a look at what's actually happening in human clinics and advanced animal trials right now. There are 3 massive breakthroughs paving the way. First up, therapeutic plasma exchange. This filters out old plasma and abnormal immune proteins, and get this, it's been observed to reverse 70% of early Alzheimer's dementia in clinical settings. Wow. Second, senolytic therapies are already showing massive lifespan extensions in animals. And third, TAC, or TERT activator compound. This restores youthful telomerase function. In older mice, it literally dropped amyloid plaques, restored their working memory, and even improved muscle strength.
And looking a bit deeper at those senolytics, the data is honestly staggering. Just by clearing out 10% of zombie cells, researchers saw a 30% increase in healthy lifespan in animal models. But here's the kicker. The animals didn't just live longer. They grew their hair back, their organ function improved, their overall vitality skyrocketed. This isn't just slowing down aging, it's a true observable reversal of age.
Because of unbelievable data like this, Dr. Mike Rosen estimates there is an 80% probability, 80%, that within the next 5 years, science will provide the clinical tools to make a 90-year-old biologically younger than their own children. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. We aren't talking about something for our great-great-grandchildren. We are talking about therapies arriving in our immediate lifetime.
Finally, Section 5, the Longevity Society, a new world.
So if we hit that 80% chance, what happens to our entire civilization when living a high-performance life to 120 becomes the new baseline? Well, a massively extended lifespan completely shatters the traditional retirement model. That 20th century path, learning, working, and then retiring for decades, it simply won't make sense anymore. Instead, we're looking at a dynamic cycle: education, work, re-education, completely new careers. Economically, this could actually solve major crises caused by low birth rates and labor shortages. We could afford medical and social programs with ease. But psychologically, it means we're going to have to continually reinvent ourselves.
And this perfectly tees up a foundational concept coined by Aubrey de Grey: longevity escape velocity. The whole idea is that the first generation of these treatments, they probably won't be perfect. They might only buy you an extra 20 or 30 years of healthy life. But that is exactly the point. Today's imperfect treatments buy you enough healthy time to stick around and benefit from tomorrow's more advanced cures. It allows your health to just stay one step ahead of the aging process, indefinitely.
Aubrey de Grey offers this really powerful reminder of the stakes involved here. He says, we have a moral obligation to defeat aging, to save more than 100,000 lives a day. Ending aging isn't just some vanity project or a quirky science experiment for the global elite. By eliminating the root cause of the world's most devastating diseases, it is arguably the greatest humanitarian imperative of our time. We literally have an opportunity to end a massive amount of physical and mental suffering.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. The science is moving incredibly rapidly from the lab straight into human trials. It's really no longer a matter of if, but when. So, if the wear and tear of aging becomes the thing of the past, and you find yourself with an extra 40 years of vibrant, high-performance life, what will you choose to do with it? Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure to keep your eyes on the science.